Hello and welcome to Red Barn Radio. I'm Brad Becker, the host of our program. Red Barn Radio is now in its 18th season, and this is our 693rd live studio performance. Following many weeks of stay-at-home and distancing restrictions, the Performance Hall at Arts Place is, yes, once again available to us, and we're so glad to be back with you. To keep our staff and our musical guests safe, we will continue to abide by state and local guidelines concerning cleanliness and personal protective equipment. And for now, our Wednesday performances will take place without a live in-studio audience. Welcome to Red Barn Radio. Our guests tonight come to us from North Carolina. Please welcome Brad Heller and the Fustics.
Everyone's just sitting around, waiting to be transformed, thinking some immaculate intervention deliver them from this town. Kids lighting up in their rooms, ambition is 6 feet under. They see the same losers day in, day out, never dreaming and letting loose. I don't want to live like that, I swear to God I never will. I've got to bust out of this place. Y'all head any direction, it won't matter which path I take. Baby, I've just got to bust out of this place. I'm sick and tired of those old fools, man, they just want to talk of the past. Those glory days don't matter anymore, those suckers think it all will last. My buddy offered me some suit and desk job just the other day. I laughed and said I ain't sticking around that long, but does he know he's a lifer anyway? I don't want to live like that, swear to God I never will. I've got to bust out of this place. I'll hit any direction, it don't matter which path I take. Baby, I just got to bust out of this place. Last night I dreamed I was driving back from Mexico, saw a vision of the promised land. I didn't go, I just kept driving through the night with the cool air city in. I made a promise that I'd never settle for anything, never again. I don't want to live like that, swear to God I never will. I've got to bust out of this place. I'll hit any direction, it don't matter which path I take. Baby, I've just got to bust out of this place. Sugar, I've just got to bust out of this place. Thank you.
On the Red Barn stage tonight is Brad Heller and his band, the Fustics. They've got a new album called The Sentence, an album that Indie Pulse magazine calls one that fires on all cylinders from start to finish. We can't wait to hear all the music Brad has in store for us tonight. Please welcome back Brad Heller and the Fustics to the Red Barn stage.
Thank you, thank you. This next song is called Lynchburg Queen. It's off my 4th record. And despite what somebody asked me in Roanoke years ago, it is not a love song. Barely feel the sun upon my face. No longer taste the flavor of my days. Rather than have cocked in some pseudo-poet phase, now I'm caught in this brilliant masquerade. Like a squatter, I've got nowhere to go. Like a pauper, there are things I'll never own. Trapped while the walls are closing in deadly slow. Even your touch can save me from what I know. Life is always what you fear. Small victories only lose out to the ear. I find it difficult to dream. The only solace I had is you, my Lynchburg Queen. Nicotine, bourbon, and broken sleep. My wages remind me of this carousel of defeat. I'm a bit more stable than the martyrs in the street. They revolt blindly with no blisters on your feet. Life is always what you fear. Small victories only lose out to the ear. I find it difficult to dream. The only solace I had is you, my Lynchburg Queen. Here's a rip town, like clear-cut trees. My search for liquor is the only way I'm able to believe. Years have passed since I've seen the horizon line. I'm drowning in a sea of dead and Wall Street crime. Through a journey we'll walk, through broken and bitter times. Promise me you'll walk beside me, not behind. Life is always what you fear. Small victories only lose out to the years. I find it difficult to dream. The only solace I have is you, my Lynchburg Queen. My Lynchburg, my Lynchburg Queen, my Lynchburg Queen. Thank you. Thanks for having us this evening, folks. The song is a kind of a 50s style song off the new record called 1,000 Days. I was shooting for kind of a Chris Isaac thing, so see if it worked. Till my eyes, they're not fit for any faith to reside. blinded by God's will in mind. I woke with only the notion to survive. Damn my soul, like a gasoline fire out of control. The burn is taking its toll to my incinerated soul, and that is why I haven't afraid in 1,000 days. Dim your touch, it is faded in the desert and dust from that selfish night in August. All I know is your final push, and that is why I haven't prayed in 1,000 days. In 1,000 days. There are those who live by the unseen. I lie frozen every night, unable to dream. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, in this time, caught in a crater of inescapable size, blinded and battered from trying to rise. Damn this fucking time, damn this fucking time, damn this fucking time, and that is why I haven't prayed in 1,000 days. In 1,000 days. In 1,000 days. In 1,000 days. 1,000 days. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate everybody out there in internet land. I see some people I know. Appreciate it, especially my West Coast people, California and Arizona. Good to see you guys. And thanks to everybody in North Carolina who's commenting so far. Those comments mess me up, but keep them coming. Keep them coming. This is the title track to my fourth record. It's called American Burden. It's about the confinements we all share in the American experience. We never know when time will abide. You just sow your seeds and beg for the roots to rise. There's a constant stream of doubt and self-pride. Jesus, I can't explain how some survive. I've been running roads that seem to never end, and waging battles in which I can't contend. Working backwards seems to suit my trends. Oh, criminal love. I couldn't break her bend. Why do visions weigh upon your soul? Why can't a steady touch be enough to heal and console? There are no more parades for the boys to attend. And I wonder when this American bird will end. Now I'm caught in the crossfires of a nation I don't know. I've been awakened by this rage beneath the undertow. And I've halted on my back like 1,000-pound stone ever since my sins were left unatoned. Why do visions weigh upon your soul? Why can't a steady touch be enough to heal and console? There are no more parades for the boys to attend. And I wonder when this American bird will end. Whoa! Just like Woody Guthrie in the Prairie Nine, I've been cursed by this need to revel and rise through the blinding red dust. I'll fight my fight. Maybe one day I'll recognize what lays by my side. Why do visions weigh upon your soul? Why can't a steady touch be enough to heal and console? There are no more parades for the boys to attend. And I wonder when this American bird will end. Yeah, I wonder when this American bird will end. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you guys having us. Bobby Frith on guitar right there, smoking it away. This next song, we're going to do a little acoustic number. It's the title track to my new record. A lot of the themes flowed and it kind of interwoven with the last two records. This is called The Sentence, and it deals with confinement, imprisonment, among all the systems that we all experience. So, here we go. Time has found its way. Dreams still dance a silent dance through reflection and wounds. A memory stockpiled with beaten stands. I saw your face in landscapes through the rising sun and the severed moon like a nation fading by. I witnessed the affairs of my life begin to swoon. The moments that make you feel alive will sentence you in the end. I stand attention along this highway of sin. A calling I could not decipher, a voice that wouldn't translate through the armies of egos. I vowed to forever stake my claim. Through the distance, I left no transcript. My bloodline streamed a sterile black along the asphalt casino. I hoisted the flag of guilt upon my back. The moments that make you feel alive will send you in the end. I stand attention along this highway of sin. Within work there was no promise. Days were spent, sun-stroked and scarred lungs. The deceptions finally came to light. I told like a migrant with no tongue. So I gambled beyond my means, seeking riches, invisible to grab, exploding bodies with no faces. I cleansed my skin in a drunken bath. A loss I couldn't fathom, sorrow one can quantify, buried beneath the surface. I choked the final gasp of standing time. The moments that make you feel alive will send you in the end. I stand attention along this highway of sin. The moments that make you feel alive will send you in the end. I stand attention along this highway of sin. I stand attention along this highway of sin. Embracing solitude as penance, in regret, born on a shield of disdain. I carried the torch of this American burden, traversing a lifetime of miles that spoke my name. Thank you.
Welcome, listeners, to Red Barn Radio. We're presenting you with an evening of music and conversation with Brad Heller. We like to hear about the life behind the music, to bring the music to life. And Brad, I'd love for you to start us off. You know, a good beginning might be, where'd you come from? Where are your roots?
My roots are in Arizona.
And how long did you live there?
Pretty much through high school, and then I left for a while and went to college and came back sporadically, but pretty much left after high school and came back for months at a time.
You still have an attachment to Arizona?
Yeah, my good portion of my family still lives there. They're spread all over the country, but some of my roots still there. My mom's still there, and my brothers, all in healthcare.
All right. Is the place where you came from, where you were born, important for you musically speaking?
Yeah, absolutely. I use a lot of Western imagery in my songs. And since I moved to North Carolina, I use a lot of Southeastern too, but I've never lost that. I continue to write about the West and the expansiveness and
The Caliche.
in the Caliche. I write about in a couple of my songs I mentioned the Western mud, which is called Caliche.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You don't want to deal with it. It's mud that's harder than rock. You have to use a jackhammer to get through, and it only cuts off bit by bit by bit. So it takes for hours just to dig a hole.
Okay. So digging a hole, no good. Driving on it is fine. You're not You're not gonna get stuck in that kind of mud.
No. But it's a backbreaking job that I did for $6 an hour for my brother, and I still think he owes me money.
as what, a post hole digger?
I was a plant digger. Yeah, it was not. It was. I found better ways to make a living.
And how about your family? Did you have you have a brother, and do you have other siblings?
I've got 4 brothers and a sister.
Oh, wow.
They're kind of spread all over, but like I said, a couple of them still live in Arizona. We're pretty close-knit, I'd say. We try to spend the holidays together, but it's tough getting, when families start to expand and whatnot. And I'm on the road a lot, so it's difficult getting together. But we try to stay in touch.
Music a big deal growing up in your household?
Yeah, especially my older brother kind of brought it into everybody. He actually plays hardcore metal, and he plays overseas and everything. He's a big speed metal, thrash metal guy, so he still does it. And he kind of got the rest of us into it, but we kind of ventured into the folk arena a little bit more, in the rock and roll arena.
Huh. And the time that you were born into, what was the era? Just out of curiosity, you know, because that's shape. You know, it's like there's so many things that shape us, right? And one is that the place, that there's the family, and then, you know, I think understated this.
Well, I was shaped in a lot of. We grew up kind of in a household where you had to work all the time, because I grew up on a ranch of 12 acres, and it's still the same ranch. And we grew up on Saturdays. You had to get up, you had to do work. Doesn't matter if you were hungover or not. You had to get up and pull weeds and dig holes and rake the desert. I didn't understand why we were raking the desert. It's the desert, but we had to do it. And my dad was a wonderful man, but he was a surgeon, so he was pretty disciplined. He was in the service too, so we kind of had to abide by the rules. But it wasn't a thundering hand. It was just, you know, you want to do what you want to do, you get your stuff done at home first.
So military, did church come into play? Was that
they try to make that work. We'll touch on that a little bit later, one of my songs. But I grew up all throughout my life. I went to Catholic school, Catholic high school, and just something that didn't really interest me the older I got.
But before you got on a music path, you did some sports. So sports was really important to you going through high school, and then
high school and college. I played baseball, and that was a way to keep myself busy, pay for a little bit of school, and you know, that was my first career that ended in my mid-20s.
Talk a little bit more about that, just for listeners who may not have been with us the last time you were here.
No problem. I played minor league baseball for about 5 years all over the country. I was with the White Sox organization, the Texas Rangers. In fact, last year when we came out and saw you guys, I ran into one of my friends from the Texas Rangers, first time in 22 years, in some small town in Wisconsin, and we stayed with him, and it was really weird. And now we're staying in touch all the time. It's great.
Huh.
So, but you know, you make a lot of bonds in sports, especially the higher up you go. So I still stay in touch with a few of my friends, and you know, it was a good path. You know, it just seemed to short, stocky, and no speed. Not a recipe for success.
Well, you must have been able to hit though.
Yeah, I was okay. I was a solid player. You know, I wasn't an elite prospect or anything. So I was what they call an organizational player. And what that means is they have about 2 guys on every team that everybody else plays for, so those 2 guys can get to the big leagues.
You think it's harder to be a professional athlete or a professional musician?
That's a good question. I think music is more mind-wrenching, especially creating music and art is very difficult. You know, I mean, baseball has a system. You know, 9 innings, 3 outs per inning. You know, it's you can't really change it. But music, it changes all the time. It's difficult too. And you have to rely on other guys for music. In baseball, you could play 4 games and never get you'd be in the outfield and never get a ball hit to you. So,
yeah, right.
But that's a good question. I don't know. I decided to pick 2 of the hardest professions to make money at.
Yeah, you don't seem like a guy who chooses an easy path, starting with the mud digging. When people ask you to, you know, assign some kind of a genre to the music that you decided to play, you know, what do you say? Are you comfortable with the designation of Americana, something we talk about ad nauseum here?
I think I was maybe 10 years ago. I think it's more rock and roll. I mean, we do a lot of stuff, but rock and roll is melting pot of a lot of different genres. But you know, I think Americana has become so homogenized, and it encapsulates so many different genres. I don't even know what it means anymore. So when people ask us, I like to say rock and roll, or maybe I like to say roots rock. Roots rock, or
yeah.
I like that one a lot. We use that on some of the promos and stuff.
Yeah, roots it sort of resonates with us and what we do here too. Could you talk to us a little bit about how you came to be a writer? Because you know, you wrote all the songs on The Sentence, is that right?
Yeah, I've written all the songs on all my albums.
Yeah, yeah. And how many albums are there?
5.
Wow. Okay.
So we got a pretty big catalog. It all started probably when I was an English major in college. I took to writing. I really enjoyed writing, especially I was a journalism minor, so I did a lot of writing in school, and I enjoyed the mechanical aspect of it. And so I grew up, reading the guys like Hemingway and, Steinbeck. Steinbeck was a big guy for me.
Yeah.
And, right now I'm in the middle of a Cormac McCarthy book, so
Uh-huh.
I gravitate toward some of the Western writers, but I don't know, somehow, and I think a lot of my travels actually in baseball, and when I used to hop trains years ago too, I think a lot of that traveling on the open road really gave me a lot to form and I try not to write too many road songs. I use road imagery, but I try not to write road songs as much like Americana. It's been hijacked by a lot of people.
So you grew up in a family with a doctor, hardworking doctor, military man, and also on a ranch. And where did the sort of the value of sort of arts and literature derive from? Were there teachers in your life, or were your parents sort of equally versed in those things?
Both my parents were huge readers, but they weren't into music at all. My dad was a scientist, so he was
Yeah.
into science, and my mom was a nurse, so she's still a nurse at 78 years old. I think it was just influenced my brothers and music we listened to. We listened to a lot of Neil Young, a lot of Springsteen, stuff like that. So we gravitated towards kind of serious songwriters.
The passing of your dad,
Big inspiration.
yeah, had a big impact on
Yeah.
the writing that you did for The Sentence. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people, it's gotten tremendous reviews, but everybody always mentions two songs that pay homage to my father. Really, about 7 of the songs are written directly by my dad. But I try to mix them up. I try to make them not very obvious. But yeah, it was just a huge influence. That was a big time in my life. Really, the last 2 records were dealt with that idea of loss of faith, loss of life. The abandonment of faith. So I don't write very many happy songs.
I was going to say, yeah. Do you write anything lighthearted, or have you ever tried that? And
Yeah,
I only ask that because the only music of yours that I really know, I think, is The Sentence, and so I haven't heard some of what you've done before.
Yeah, my first, maybe the second, third, really the third album dealt with I was in a personal space where things were really good, but it was kind of a dichotomy because I wrote a lot of songs about our foreign policy, because that was when we were over in Iraq in 2007, 2008. So I did write some happy songs on that one. Or I don't know about happy, but songs of hope.
Yeah.
Now I just write hopeless songs.
Yeah, it's not either. I don't think it's either cerebral or melancholic versus happy,
Well,
right?
they asked Johnny Cash years ago, why do you write sad songs? And he says, because that's what life is about.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not trying to do that. It's just what comes out. I just try to write really naturally, let it come naturally. I try not to force anything. I never try to force lyrics at all. The great writer, Larry McMurtry's son, James McMurtry, is a fantastic songwriter. And he's incredible. And he said, if a song takes less than a year to write, it's a bad song. So I like that.
Ooh, well, that kind of accounts for how few albums he has.
Right. I'm not saying that's necessarily something, but I just like the idea that you labor over songs, you edit songs. I'm not a good songwriter when it comes to just like one day. It takes me, I really labor over my songs.
Yeah, and do you feel like it wears you out, or ultimately that it energizes you once you bring it out onto the stage?
I think it
give
wears
birth
me
to
out
it?
mentally, yeah. But
Yeah.
I think when you get that good song and you bring it to the guys and it just resonates with people, a good song transcends different people of all different cultures, races, genre, what genres they like, genres they don't like. A good song can really transcend any of that.
Do you feel like the songwriting practices that you have right now are sustainable over the long haul, or do you imagine that at some point in time you'd like to? I don't mean that you would want to write less thoughtful songs, but
Sure.
that you might like to be able to not be so scrupulous.
No, I'd like to always be scrupulous in edit. I would like it to be not so laborious, but I think I
Yeah.
do that to myself. But I think it's good because I really don't have throwaway songs,
Yeah.
which is nice. I used to have a lot of throwaway songs when I was first becoming a songwriter. I mean, maybe I'd keep 15%, but now I keep 100%, and usually they make an album. So I'd like to think that's success. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, our guest this evening on Red Barn Radio is Brad Heller and the Fustics. They're here from North Carolina, and we're going to get back to some more conversation with them, but only after some more music from them. Give them a warm welcome back.
Thank you. You say I gotta move on. It's way too late. I'm gone, gone, gone. Beating along the coastline in a hurricane. Truth be told, I never had a chance. Could never escape those brilliant hands. Fine as a surgeon, strong as a terrain. 'Cause nothing remains. Same cheap label every night. I get my fill, but I still survive. The bootlegs are my Bible, death is my creed. Every week I honor the pain. To make it real, I must do it again. And spread the sinner's soul and recovery. 'Cause time's the enemy. When I envision your eyes, eternal gaze can paralyze. Trapped in a moment I can't escape. Nothing will ever be the same. Generations releasing hands can poison the blood of the land, tilling the soil for the seeds of apathy. Pull the highway, I ain't got no home. The asphalt's my solace and stronghold. I dream of your face, I dream of your face, I dream of your face. I dream of your face. I dream of your face. Thank you. Yep. Thank you, thank you. That was a song off the new record called Time's the Enemy. This next song's off my third record. It's called Bloodstained Streets. It's about our co-op of violence in America. I was headed down from Austin town. Well, I couldn't find myself. I turned my back on a country I once knew. Lordstown shut its doors and set my life overseas. The memories of Black Monday ringing true. The lines stir the echoes in the pain that we hide, like the deepest parts of night that we reach. My buddy's gone for good. I can barely see his face, only in photographs of history screen. Come on. You can find solace in the Lord, rivers of wealth that he seeks. You want the chance to win back your life. You better bust away from these bloodstained streets. past the stones of the soldiers just south of Columbus. The markers line the field like a perfect crop. 1,000 miles north on the fringes of Grand Rapids, Katy claps just next to Steel Death Box. Well, you can find solace in the Lord, rivers of wealth that exceed. You want the chance to win back your life, you better bust away from these blood-stained streets. I won't lie, it's just the times won't even lay down next to you. Stand by my side in the killing lines. Look what death has made me do, baby. After many failed jobs and broken southern beds, I roamed through western haunts and desert towns, drowning out a murder I never could forget. I could almost taste the blood upon my ventral tongue. Come! You can find solace in the Lord, rivers of wealth that exceed. You want the chance to win back your life, you better bust away from these blood-stained streets. These blood-stained streets. Yeah! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gabriel Jones on drums right there. Everett Demin on bass. Appreciate you having us. All right. A lot of yeehaws. This next song's off the new record. I wrote this after a fire in Arizona that kind of took over our whole property in the Chiricahua Mountains. Is it gone? Is it gone? Like the desert raped and ravaged by its sons. Is it lost? Is it lost? As the seasons turn every week, I'll pay the cost. It's an infernal raging on a puddle today, burning with the same vengeance glowing in my veins. It scorches the skin of the earth, burning with greed, like a selfie sky, blind, the last hour please. Is it gone? Is it gone? Is this a dream? Is this a dream? The lights beyond the Skagit, they glisten and gleam. Is it time? I know it's time. A criminal, I'm trapped from this brilliant crime. Your voice soothes across the sacred table. Your words are music like an ancient fable. I give my life just to hold you once again. But the nights won't start and the days they barely begin. Is this a dream? I know it's not a dream. Is it gone? Is it gone? Is it home? No! I know it's gone. 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 Woohoo! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, before we get back to music with Brad Heller and the Fustics, we'd like to recognize our sponsors. Red Barn Radio is brought to you with the help of Chef Greg Scott and Broussard's Delta Kitchen, featuring authentic flavors of New Orleans and the Mississippi Delta. They're on Main Street in historic Georgetown, Kentucky, and they're also on Facebook. Our printing, design, and fulfillment is provided by AccuPrint, and they're online at accuprint.us. And now welcome back to tonight's Red Barn Radio program. Red Barn Radio is coming to you live from the Performance Hall at Arts Place here in the great city of Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome back, folks. Brad Heller and the Fustics.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is a title track to my first record way back when, about 18 years ago. It's called It's Only Your Life Anyway. Well, I hit that open highway and I headed for those beaming big city lights. They glisten, they beckon, they promise so much more than those narrow red minds. Blasting the box, exercising the poison, the fights to seep in your veins. Abandon the lies, man, I wouldn't face the truth, 'cause the truth always seems to change. And do you close your eyes when you walk down the street? Do you only scan the box stores every day? Are you only humble in front of the Lord? Man, it's only your life anyway. 60 miles east out of Durham, I hit that diner for coffee and pie. A Carrot staple I couldn't get on the road out of my friends and mine. Descending back to reality, a trucker at the counter caught my ear, bitching about the latest census and how America was getting darker every year. Do you close your eyes when you walk down the street? Do you only scan the box stores every day? Are you only humble in front of the Lord? Man, it's only your life in a way. We're destined to fail in this life. Why add so much fuel to the fire? I'm finally coming home now. You sit on the throne of discernment and arbitrate half truths, or will you loosen the bone crushing imposed by those never changing fools? Will you close your eyes when you walk down the street? Do you only scan the box stores every day? Are you only humble in front of the Lord? Man, it's only your life anyway. It's only your life anyway. It's only your life anyway. Thank you, little country right there. Thank you, Bobby. Woo. Bobby Frith on guitar, smoking it up.
Smoking it up.
This next song is called Through Your Time. And some friends of mine have been asking me to play this live for years. So they love it so much. So we just started doing that. Like a train raging through the desert, I feel your strength. Like a surgeon overwhelmed with wounded, your calm is grace. As you lay battered and broken by chance, your love is life. Walk hand in hand with my hero through your time. Whether we rode upon the sacred land of Cochise or hit those northwest tables high, your socks were set like a hog. Wisdom was always your calling card. When I failed beyond redemption, you stroked my shattered pride. Never lost faith in the hopeless. Through your time, through your time, there seemed always at your door. You never begged to bargain, they had your score. As I watch you breathing heavy in the summer night, well, I'm honored to have been your son through your time. So rest now, my friend, please don't fade away. Give me one more hour Let me hold you one more day. Our souls are one, forever intertwined. We'll meet again, I swear, as strong as we once were. Through your time, there seemed always at your door. You never begged to bargain, you had to score. As I watch you breathe in heaven in the summertime. Well, I'm honored to have been your son through your time. As I watch you breathe in heaven in the summertime. Well, I'm honored to have been your son through your time. Yeah, I'm honored to have been your son through your time. Thank you for letting us play that. This next song is called Vigilante Blues. I got the Vigilante Blues. Something's going down, too brutal to be true. I want to head up north and cut away this news. Choked by the Vigilante Blues. Frustrated by the Vigilante Blues. For 25 years I paid those post NAFTA dues. They import everything down the old walking chute. I'm exhausted from the Vigilante Blues. Well, I'm baking in the sun with the Vigilante Blues. I'm digging holes in the desert with some migrant crew. The caliche won't break. It's just clay that comes loose. I'm exhausted from the Vigilante Blues. Go! Well, I dream with the Vigilante Blues of exacting pain through and through. Wanna quench the bloodthirst, baby. That Boston stew. Packing heat with the Vigilante Blues. Come on, body! Driving hellbound with the Vigilante Blues. I'm borrowed time man. Yeah, I'm sober booze. I'm gonna head to the border, baby. 'Cause I've got nothing left to lose. But staying from the Vigilante Blues. But staying from the Vigilante Blues. But staying from the Vigilante Blues. Thank you.
Wow. All right. Nice tune.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, wondering if going back to your writing for the sentence, we talked a little bit about your dad, and what are I guess when you think about that album, the sentence, is there another album by someone, another album you've heard, another album by someone you really like, who you feel you fashioned that album by? Is there an album that really is an inspiration for you, a particular one?
I have a lot of inspiration from albums, but the one that inspired that one wasn't necessarily lyrically, was sonically Jason Isbell's Southeastern. I love how he was able to use the economy of music and get these really full sounds with you know, sparse instrumentation. And I always like that about CCR too. You know.
Yeah, right. And so you try to find that in the studio as well. And do you have success shaping the stuff that you do in the studio?
A lot more now. I have a great producer back home, and we seem to be we have a good symmetry within us and symbiotic nature, and he just knows what I want now. And this past record, what I really tried to do is make a big sound with acoustic instruments, but still be rock and roll. You know, that old adage that you have to have organ on every song. I mean, I used organ, but I believe in, you know, we really used a lot of auxiliary percussion and some tambourines, some clave, some bongos on one song, and we did that just so we could fill the space out and see if we could do it kind of a stripped down version, but still keep it very full.
Yeah. And this worked best in this album, and you feel up until the sentence, it was all kind of sort of struggling to get it where you wanted it to be?
I'm not really. We had a purpose for every album. The thing, we just wanted to have a full album see if we could make a full album with lesser instrumentation.
Yeah.
But the album before was great. We toured off that for a while, but we used a lot of instruments. I mean, that song we just played, Vigilante Blues, I think had 5 or 6 guitars in the song. So, I mean, there were some songs on the sentence we had 2 or 3 instruments, backup vocals, and some auxiliary percussion, and we got a really big full sound. So I was just going for a stripped down sound to let the lyrics really shine.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's an interesting thing that only people who work in the studio can understand how a stripped down sound would involve 6 guitars in one song, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, we were I mean,
I know how that works.
We wanted the songs to take over. In the last couple records, we've been able to do that, and I thank that to my friend Patrick in Wilmington, North Carolina. He does a great job. He knows what I want, and we try not to over-edit or anything like that. We try to keep a real natural sound.
Good deal. How'd you end up in Wilmington? Talk about that.
I was playing baseball up in New York, and I got released, so I went down to Wilmington with like $400, thinking that I was going to live on the beach for $400.
Had you played baseball down in Wilmington too?
I never had, but I had some relatives there.
Yeah.
Some extended family. So I went down there with $400 and found out I needed to get a job. So I lived there for a couple months, moved back to Arizona, saved up some money, moved back to Wilmington. So, and I've been there for almost 20 years.
All right.
Yeah.
And tell folks about the Wilmington music scene.
It's
they
great.
Seem
There's
to embrace you.
You know, it's great. There's a lot of really good musicians. The original scene, you just kind of dig around for, but there's a nice original niche if you head down there. Obviously, right now with the current situation, not a lot of music going on, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, what is this tour called that you have going on right now?
I think this is the Stay Safe tour because we had our because all our shows are social distance shows. We're playing 2 shows at Paris Landing tomorrow. If anybody out there on the internet wants to come out, just look up Kentucky Woke Productions and they'll give you information. We're playing. It's at like a campground with swimming and fishing, and we're doing that because we're able to do it because there's so much room and space.
Yeah.
So we haven't. This is our first. I've had 1 show since March, and that was outside at a brewery. Aside from that, we've had I think around 40 shows canceled. So, and
wow.
I'm afraid more to come. Just things aren't. It's a tough time right now.
Yeah, I want to get back to pandemical conversation,
Sure.
But I also wanted to ask you about something. I didn't want to run out of time for this. You made a video, or I came upon a video that you made. Bound
for Nothing.
Bound
yeah.
for Nothing. Yeah. And how recent was that?
Pretty recent. That was so a lot of people attacked the pandemic because they couldn't play live streaming, which is great. I just kind of wanted to attack it since I finally had some time. I wasn't on the road. I wasn't employed. So I tried to take advantage of the studio. So that was probably just been released a month ago.
All right. So it's fresh.
Yeah, and then we also did another one with these 2 guys called Eternal Season, which we'll play in a few songs off the new record as well. Both those songs are off the Sentence. And I'd never really done a professional video. I had a lot of live video. Probably the most professional video I ever had was when we played here last year. So I wanted to take advantage of that with the time we had and the resources and start understanding how to do it because that was a medium I was not familiar with, and it was fun.
Well, what did you learn? I mean, I was really taken by some of your choices. One of the choices being to make it pretty much devoid of any other human beings other than yourself, except for maybe one scene, I think.
Yeah, the song, the song's
there.
a pretty desperate song. I fashioned it off Bruce Springsteen's The River record in 1980. Just a couple of those songs I wanted this dark imagery of driving around a loner with nothing to do after work, and somebody who was pretty much an insomniac. So, which seems to be my case. But so we tried to make the video. It was all black and white. We were kind of struck by Truman Capote's In Cold Blood, so we tried to have it that stark, rustic feel, and then we incorporated a little bit of color in it. Every now and then you'll see flashes of color. We did that just to make the eyes pop a little bit here and there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, noticed color sort of being phased in, the color of a bottle, a green bottle. And then, something I had to ask you about, I saw in the back of your belt something that looked like a pistol.
It was a 38.
Yeah, so tell me about that. How did you happen to incorporate that?
Well, I was trying to incorporate and I wasn't really doing it because of the pandemic, but I was trying to incorporate the loss of the industrialized world. And this guy's going back to the plant, in some of the earlier images of the video, he's sitting in a bar, a closed bar, drinking.
Yeah.
And it's a dream sequence, wondering what he's going to do. And at the end, he has the pistol in his back pocket and against the fence of the factory that he worked at, and you're wondering what he's going to do. And I tried to leave it kind of up in the air.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I would encourage, if you're listening to this conversation, that you would go and check that out. It's a video for a song that Brad wrote called "Bound for Nothing." Right, and one other question I had about that. So at the very end, so there's a scene where you're by the fence, but then at the very end, it looks like you sort of mutter something. Was that intentional? Was that anything supposed to mean anything?
No,
okay.
I wasn't. No, we didn't try to do that. We tried to make it really natural. I didn't see that, man. Maybe we didn't catch that in the editing room.
Oh, well, no, it's interesting because it made me kind of wonder.
Yeah,
it was the only point where you said anything or appeared to speak or verbalize anything.
Yeah, we really didn't have any spoken parts. I didn't try to. I could have been. I could have. The character could have been doing something. I don't know. A lot of it was a dream sequence. We wanted to keep it kind of ambivalent, make your own opinions of what's happening to this guy. And at the end, you see him leaning back against the bar. So you're wondering if it really happened or if it's still a dream, or if he's back at the bar after he, took vengeance out.
Uh-huh. Well, that was really cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering, how that experience
Thank you very
was
much
for you.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Thanks for looking at it.
Yeah. So, hey, why don't you introduce us to your fellow players and tell us briefly how you guys happened to come together?
Everett Domina, he is from Boone, North Carolina.
He plays bass, been playing a couple years, the greatest 2 years of his life, he told me.
Oh, all right.
This is actually very nearly my 2-year anniversary.
Oh,
It
all
was,
right.
So
June 2018 that I joined the Fustics. It's pretty steadily uphill since then.
but that's Everett he's been playing. He just graduated from Boone, from App State.
Okay.
So he's got some more free time on his hands. So
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, welcome back. It's nice to see you. I didn't recognize you earlier wearing the mask, and now you look vaguely familiar.
Vaguely. I think I've shaved since then. Now that I'm a college graduate, I wanted to clean my act up a little bit.
Well, the pandemic has changed all of us. a little
Yeah,
bit.
really.
Yeah, and then let's go over there to on the guitar and drums. Who do we got over there?
we have Gabriel Jones right here. Gabe has been with us since March, and this is his first show because we got all the shows got wiped out. He was going to join us in mid-March, and that's when everything shut down in North Carolina, the entire region. So we met him. I had never met him until last night. We met and we practiced, and we practiced
Until when?
Till last night.
Oh,
Well, I'd spoken to him via text and via email, but last night was the first time we actually met in person, and we practiced last night, practiced today, and so he got ready on his own and did a great job.
how do you like him? Does he seem like
I
a
like
nice
him.
guy?
He's a good guy.
All right.
Good guy.
We like him. Welcome. Nice to have you here.
Thanks.
Yeah, welcome to Lexington.
And this is the infamous Bobby Frith on guitar. He was with me last time. He grew his
Yep.
hair out a little bit and his beard, but he's been playing with me for a couple years too. I think about 2.5 years, and he's still going to school at UNC Chapel Hill.
And There's nothing much to say about that there, Mr.
Oh,
Frith?
I'm still going.
Yeah, and what do you study? What are you studying there?
I study music,
Oh, you do?
or I did. Now I'm just trying to finish my degree.
You just want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Wrap it up, and do you want to wrap it up and get to doing this full time?
Oh yeah. I mean, I live for this.
This specifically.
This specific.
Any time we get to hang out around Brad.
That's right. That's right.
Well, thank you very much. That's nice of you
He's
to
like
say
a
that.
father
oh,
to me.
Yeah. So, hey, just real quickly, could you guys sort of reflect a little bit on sort of how the last 3 months has, shaped your personal and artistic lives a little bit? And it's a big question, but I think of you as a writer, as a player. You don't have maybe the opportunities to collaborate with others the way that you're accustomed to. What's your take on all of this? And
It's a bizarre time,
And-
especially for the music industry. It's really, regardless if you're an independent musician or you're making millions of dollars, it's weird. It's strange. A lot of
Indeed.
places are closing, unfortunately. I know Cosmic Charlie's here closed, which is a shame.
Yeah.
That's a shame. We've had some clubs that we played up north in New Jersey close, and it's a tough time. I try to take advantage of just the downtime. I quarantined for about a month outside of work, and just did some writing, some video editing. I'm putting out a new
Yeah.
a single on vinyl, so I was able to get that done.
all right, Brad.
So these guys, I don't know what they did.
Yeah, upside. Yeah, I guess I think I'm hearing a lot of folks. Obviously, the downside is obvious. What about has there been an upside for either of you guys or
Well,
any of the three of you?
I mean, I appreciated the extra time I got to, practice and like develop my craft personally. But that didn't last too long because I had to go back to school and go back to work, and now I unfortunately have none of the benefits remain.
Well, you got that time in, and
Yeah,
it's
that's
good you
right,
took
that's
advantage of it, and you sound great. So, any closing words of wisdom here from the bass side?
Oh gosh, words of wisdom.
Yes. Oh, you're having to think too. You're thinking too hard.
Yeah.
Did you find yourself practicing more, or reading more, doing other kinds of things that you didn't ordinarily do a lot of?
Yeah, I mean, I read a lot more. I kind of would go through like pretty wild swings in terms of how much I was practicing. It'd be almost on a week to week basis. There'd some weeks I'd wake up in the morning and do nothing but practice for 8 hours, and then I might not touch a guitar the whole next week. It just sort of fluctuated with how I was feeling that day.
Yeah.
Because I guess the shutdown in North Carolina started in March, and I finished school in May and had no job and no school and no music to play. So I got spent just so much time at the house that even the things that I enjoyed doing, like playing music or reading or whatever, just got to be so dull that I don't know, had to look outside for other kinds of things.
That's right. And it's sort of that's I think what a lot of people say the upside is for them is that they found themselves sort of looking outside of the places that usually give them comfort and finding new comfort in other relationships and doing other things. And I always kind of like hearing those stories, though your story sounds a little bit depressing. It was. I see some light in there. No, I hear you. I hear you. It's been hard for everybody. And Brad Heller and the Fustics. It's so great that you guys could get up here and be on Red Barn Radio. We're really thankful to be up and running again and doing this now again every week. Although we have distancing and whatnot, we don't really want to be all that close to each other anyway. But it's very nice for us to be together because we are all close here. Sure. And we're so glad you could come and do this. And I'm glad you got some more music to play this weekend. So.
Sure do. Thanks for having us, by the way. Appreciate it.
Hey, welcome back, Brad Heller and the Fustics.
Sister, she's riding along, cruising down to those hip-hop songs. Sun is sinking, it's starting to drown. Ways are ancient in this old boy's town. So-called routine style sees your time, confirms what you thought. And you tell me everything is changing. Poor boy goes some foreign land, can't ride the buses, waltzes he can. Comes home from a fruitless war, soaks a levy home for evermore. 20 years later, the battle rages on, and coffee table with all these talk. You tell me that everything is changing. I've caught the tears of my sister, pray to God for deliverance. 'Cause all the prayers have been silenced by he's riding along, cursing every one of those hip-hop songs. So intelligent, so he claims, can't even fathom those African names. Catch him off guard, he don't try to recover. How the hell is he my father's brother? You tell me everything is changing.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. This next song is a song of my third record. It's, started writing it when I was coming, I was north of Seattle, headed south. It's one of those happy songs. Well, just north of Conway, in the fog starts to rise. Way beyond farmhouses, the poor and rich collide. The fields are as fertile as this a reborn soul. Far from the concrete grind that renders a man so cold. So southeast of the Skagit, I make my way down 5. There's a beauty in this land that can only provide. It's the open ranges and native wind that calls my name. As I envision the heat, the canyons, and the monsoon rain. Can you see the sadness lifted from my warning eyes? Will you run with me under the desert sky? Never a martyr for the cause, never a bastard son, but a dreamer wrapped in conscience, a lifetime since I'd won. Like Jesus in the garden, I was broken by my doubt, so I washed away the truth with women in the bottle to my mouth. Can you see the sadness lifted from my warning eyes? Will you run with me under the desert sky? The streets are silent, as dead is my whole self. I pounded on the doors of heaven, but denied the entrance to hell. And now I'm back with you in my arms, with you in my arms, with you in my arms. As we suffocate the asphalt and strangle the coastline, I can feel the air stifle. I sense fate in your eyes. 1,000 years it seems since I walked to my homeland. In dreams like a child, I gently grab your hand. Can you see the sadness lifted from my warning eyes? Will you run with me under a desert sky? Will you run with me tonight? Will you run with me? Will you run with me tonight? All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. That's called Desert Sky right there. Thanks for having us. Thanks to all the people in streaming land. Appreciate all the comments. Always appreciate the support all you guys have given us.
Good evening, and welcome to Red Bar.
If you guys don't have anything on, of mine, we're always on Spotify and all that other good stuff, so check it out. This song right here is off my last record. It's called It's All Too Real. You say that God's been waiting round the bend. It must have been the straightest road there's ever been. I walk with passion, but the pain, it blocks my path. I'm caught in a storm of death, and I can't escape its wrath. It feels like a dream. It's all too real. My father rebuilt man in the jungles of lie and sin. His hands were tools of life when they repaired beneath the skin. But Jesus wouldn't bargain when it was time to strike a deal. I guess he never had Lazarus by his heel. It feels like a dream. It's all too real. My soul is shining from the stillness in your eyes. I tore the truth no longer in disguise. I disown the world to once again see your face. Like a fallen apostle, my doctrine can betray. I've seen blood running black through my neighbor's veins. I've seen evil cloaked within the church of shame. I've witnessed men walk this world drunk from greed and might, but the gentle, brilliant, and humble fall by the early wayside. Life is like a dream. It's all too real. My soul is shining from the stillness in your eyes. I tore the truth no longer in disguise. I disown the world to once again see her face. Like a fallen apostle, my doctrine can betray.
I walk with no faith, it's forever gone. And emptiness pervades, baby, and I barely carry on.
Woo! Hey, we would like to thank Brad Heller and his band, the Fustics, for being with us this evening. We also thank our volunteers and staff for their help in making our production happen each and every week. Thank you all for listening to our webcast, watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram Live, and those listening to us on the Red Barn network of stations. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner. NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. It's your chance to hear more great live music from Red Barn Radio and WEKU. Red Barn Radio, roots music, Southern style. We come to you from our home in the Arts Place Performance Hall in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. Our website has updates and further information on our guests and our program. We're on the web at redbarnradio.com. On the 24th of June, folks, we've got John Lilly coming back to the Red Barn stage. Whoa. Yeah, a true country man who sings songs in the tradition of country greats like Jimmy Rogers. John Lilly is a West Virginia treasure. John will be joined by his two sons, George on fiddle and Mason on mandolin. Be with us next week for the Lilies. We're really looking forward to that.
Hey, Brad, you didn't get the update for the date.
Yep, today's the 24th.
Yes, it's July 1st. It's next week.
July 1st is next week. What did I say?
June 24th.
Well, heavens to Betsy. We're talking about July 1st, folks. Let me tell you that. We're talking about a week from the 24th. Thank you very much, Mr. Edward. Hey, once again, folks, let's give it up for Brad Heller and the Fustics, and we're glad you guys could come and be with us on the Red Barn stage. Brad Heller.
Thank you so much for having us. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks to everybody out there and all our friends that we've met here in Lexington. We always appreciate it at Red Barn. This is a song from the new record called Eternal Season. Hope you like it. We got a video of it online right now, so check it out. Feeling sun awaits the rain and altered fate. Cotton fields, a seas of snow, days are warm. At the end of the time I moan. East St. Louis and a socialist reign. Strikers as kings. Last headache. A decade lost beyond reason. Now I'm stranded at the heart of the eternal season. Asphalt memory of legend and song. The winter rained over this valley like a god. The haunts of by moon aimed to baptize. Drowning in sweat, won't abolish. Mind of mine. A decade lost beyond reason. Now I'm stranded at the heart of the eternal season. To buying bruised canvas, humbled within a score. I can fathom. Midwest Confessions congregate. Autumn habit flushes its will. Retaliate. A soot stain calling. The electric night. The Virginia Valley announces my days arrive. A decade lost beyond reason. Now I'm stranded at the heart. The eternal season. The eternal season. The eternal season. The eternal season. Thanks for having us, folks.
All right. Hey, folks, that's all from Red Barn Radio for this week. You can see and hear us worldwide as we stream live on the web on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram Live, Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. Be sure to check out all of our social media for all updates to our upcoming schedule as we head back into producing a full schedule. And now from all of us here at Red Barn Radio to all of our friends worldwide, it's our hope that you have a great week and keep working together to stay healthy. Until next time, good night from us all here at Red Barn Radio. Good night.